Stand in the laundry room. Hello, everybody. Here's the Guru Mama from the laundry room. I didn't grab my stand from yesterday. I had my selfie stick. So, yes, and I do. I have a um, cold. I have a cold. Couldn't even think of what you call it. What do you call it? I have a summer cold. A little bit congested and stuff. It's easing up. It's really nasally. I'm fine. Taking the C and the D and the E and the F and all of the other stuff that goes along with it. So welcome everybody. Thank you for joining me. It's the Guru Mama. Now, a funny thing. Here's a funny thing. Um, with the Canadian chart and the clown dude. Um, yeah, it's hitting today, and with Mar. Is it Mars? Is it? I gotta look again. Tells you because my brain. Um, with the moon, because I'm like Mars isn't even there. The moon going over Uranus today is really bringing in some conflict. And I think that conflict has to do with Carney. So there's something in the works, something that's going to be very explosive. Now, with everything that's happening in the world, I mean, just this week, Calgary's had flooding. Already told people Calgary and area would be having floodings. We also had floodings in Vietnam. We had floodings um, down in New York and down in Texas and just all over. It's been horrendous. Now with Neptune retrograde from Aries into Pisces, yeah, it's just going to get crazier. Like this is the new norm, people. So get used to it. Get used to the craziness. Get used to the erratic weather. That's just the new norm. That is South Saskatchewan. Yeah. Uh that didn't show up on mainstream media. No, just kidding. They're like, "Where's Saskatchewan? We can't pronounce that word, so we're not going to say it." Um, but it's just radical all over the place that this is happening. We've also had a few volcanoes that have been erupting. So there is changes. Things are rumbling. Things are changing. We are not in our usual, like everybody's, oh, let's go back to the 80s and 90s. Let's go back 2015. It's like, no, I've said this before. They're all gone. You're never going to go back to there. This is the new norm. This is the craziness and the erraticness of the energies that are coming in for change. Now, in order to make those change, in order to make them, we have to allow ourselves to go into the flow. What is the flow? That means, and I wrote about it today, and because the word joy was kept coming out. But to me, yeah, to have joy, obedience to the divine, the path is to the deep joy. To get that joy, that deepness in your heart, you have to know that, okay, whatever is unfolding for us at this time, whatever is coming for us at this time, that it is divine will. In today's world, everyone wants to be free and say and do whatever they want. And but the wise soul, the crone within, begins to ask deeper questions. Does this freedom lead to peace? Does this choice serve the soul? Am I in alignment or am I just avoiding obedience? And people don't like that. People don't like to say you have to be obedient. They're like, oh, you can't make me do whatever you want. And then they get off on a tangent. This is about stepping into a flow that is going to help us to get to a better place. Obedience isn't submission to control. It's trust, it's flow, it's saying yes to the rhythms of the universe, even when your ego wants to fight it. This is that holy paradox. The more we align with the divine will, the more we thrive. The more we listen to God's rhythm, the more joy we feel deep in our heart and in our body. It is one of walking this path in a turbulent world that is changing dramatically and changing in ways that are unexpected, that at times we can't explain it. And this is where we make the adjustments. So this is where, and it's like things like, oh, well, maybe I should do hydroponics, or maybe I should be doing this, right? You're being led into a new way. Being given ideas to do things and to start to step into making those changes. Doesn't mean you have to go out there and buy a hydroponic farm, but it's like maybe doing the research, maybe finding out, maybe how can I do this on the down low, and the costs and everything else. It's not about going out and buying the best newfangled things unless you can afford it. If you can afford it, God, like, do it. But this is about looking at how can I do this in a way that is bringing a a positive change within my life, and that brings me into a place where it's going to bring in peace. And that's where we're heading into. Where do you find peace? And finding that truth. I know there's something like things are getting really crazy within the government right now, and I know there's something coming up that's going to be very explosive with Mr. Carney. I got to do my hair, I got to fluff it. So with this all, this is where we have to start looking at how can we start to speak our sacredness. The other thing too, I believe with the convoy that that happened a few years ago. They're coming up on charges. Like they're going to be coming up before the judge and what they want to sentence them to, like for mischief. They want to send them to prison. Federal prison. Like really? Like this is the radical and the craziness that's still happening, and the tyranny that's still happening in our life. And they want you to submit to an obedience that isn't with the divine. It's an obedience that wants to control, that doesn't want you to align. If you're aligning with your divine, if you're aligning with that, that's fearful for them because you're not listening to their rhetoric and the craziness of what they're doing. I mean, when I see like everybody's, I love it when people say, "Oh, look at what's happening to Canada," and they're looking at Ontario. Ontario's not Canada; it's a part of Canada, but it is the craziness that's happening in those areas, and the amount of illegals that they're bringing into the country. This is also, when you stand up and say, "No, if you wanna come into the country, cool, but come legally." Because many of these, like, what's, um, anyways, the driving, okay, let me just put it this way. Many of them have never owned a driver's license, they've never driven a car, they've never had to obey, signs on the road or know how to read the signs. I know because I see it every time I go down the highway. Someone's going the wrong way or someone's driving on the side of the road, like, what the hell? And 9 times out of 10, it isn't a Canadian, I betcha. You know? And that's what they're finding in England, that's what they're finding in France, that's what they're finding in many other countries. But this explosion that's coming in, and I feel like it's this week, is going to be a wee bit bumpy for people. Like this is going to bringing in some a lot more craziness, and we have to come in and we have to center ourselves and come into that sacredness. If we're going all over the place and we're not centering ourselves, we're going to have a hell of a time trying to maneuver through it all. So this is really a time of coming into the center, coming into that place. And I don't want to go into a coughing fit because you get that itchy in the back of the throat. This is where we really have to look at the vibrational changes that are going on and stepping into those vibrational changes and standing in that light of those changes. And what I started to think about, and it's I wrote them down here. It's the seven spiritual laws by Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra wrote the seven spiritual laws and the seven spiritual laws of success. That's what the book is called. And so the seven spiritual laws is the law of pure potentiality. Joy lives in stillness. We must return to source to remember who we are. We have to. In this chaotic and craziness that is unfolding and is even going by I'm going to tell people by the end of summer and into September, it's going to get radical. It's going to get explosive. It's going to get louder than loud than what we've ever witnessed before in this world. So this is where we are coming in, especially with these retrogrades and Mars being in retrograde, not Mars, Mercury being in retrograde, Uranus, Saturn, and Pluto. These are planets that are saying, okay, we got to come into that consciousness, into that divineness. Then there's the law of giving. This is the joy is a current. What we give flows back. Obedience is a circulation of blessings and allowing for those blessings to come to us, to be open to them. If we're sitting there and being little Debbie Downer, sorry, Debbie, of saying, ain't nothing ever happened for me, and okay, you know, and we all been there. I've been there. I get it. We all been there. But this is where it comes in to where we have to look at what can we flow. This is get out, go for a walk, take the dog for a walk, get out there. The law of karma. Every choice plants a seed. What fruit are we really growing with our words, actions, and beliefs? The law of least effect. I don't know if I have to explain that one anymore. But yeah, how we act, what we are stepping forward, what we are doing. Every morning I listen to my Bible study. Every morning I'm trying to listen to positive affirmations and words to really set me on a course and really bring that energy into my world. In a world that's chaotic and crazy. So trying and putting that effort forward, the divine knows and they can see. Sometimes I'm not that good. Sometimes I'm just saying, I'm a Scorpio. Shit happens. The law of intention and desire. When we align our desire with the divine, manifest becomes sacred. When we say, this is what I truly want, this is where I'm stepping forward, and then feeling it, holding it in our heart. Is this really truly the energy that I need to go into? And especially if it keeps coming up or the same thing keeps coming up to you. This is where it's saying, okay, yeah, all right, I'm going to step into that divineness. The law of detachment. Let go. Joy isn't forced. It arrives when we stop clinging to the outcome and just let it go and let God. That's a hard one for most of us because we want to control every single step of the way. We want to control how it's going to be, what's going to happen, all of this, right? We want to control it all. But this is where God's coming in and God is coming in and saying, let it go and let God. We will help you. We're not going to leave you. I was watching a little clip today and it was about St. Anthony. And St. Anthony's the saint that you pray to for finding a parking spot, right? And this he's what is he? He's a priest or he's a monk. Anyways, and he was saying to his friends, on this, they were on a sort of a tour, and he was driving the bus. Anyways, so he prayed to Saint Anthony. He goes, "Ah, Saint Anthony worked," and one of his buddies was on there, and he said to him, he goes, "That's bullshit." He goes, "They have two. Do you think they're going to take time out of their day to, show you where your spot is and stuff like that?" Now, this is a guy, he was saying, always complained he could never remember his dreams. Never remember his dreams. So he came down to breakfast and he goes, "You'll never believe what happened." And he goes, "Okay, what?" And he goes, "I had a dream and I remember it." And he goes, "It was Saint Anthony." And he came to me. It was as if he was standing in my room. And he said to me, he goes, "We're here for everything. We're here for the big and the small. We're here to help and guide you. That's our job, is to be there for you. So if you need help with a parking spot and that's going to help you have a better day, we're there for you. We're going to aid you." And I thought that was like, yeah, exactly. So call in your saints, call in your angels. They're there. They want to help you. They want to guide you. You're having a hard time, you need something, start asking the angels, right? I had, and I think I've told this story before with Archangel Shamuel. When Archangel Shamuel and I, we went to the Batman movie. This is years ago, and we were at the Batman movie. Who was with us? I think it was might have been Mateus. Anyways, might have been. So we're at the Batman movie. Now, this Batman movie is like 2 hours long. Like 2 hours long. Like it's a long movie. Might have been longer than that. Anyways, so Steve, we got our stuff and that, and then Steve always wears Oakleys. And he put them down when he was putting stuff on, like he was probably getting everything for his popcorn and everything. And he might have put them down, and he didn't. We went and sat down, and then he's like, "Well, where's my glasses?" And I'm like, "Oh my god, I don't know." He goes, "Because he usually puts them on his hat, right?" And I was like, "Oh my god!" So he went back out and he looked around. He went and he talked to a few people. Nobody saw them. Nobody saw them. So through the whole movie, I was praying to Archangel Shamuel. Archangel Shamuel is one of my, Archangel Shamuel, help and guide me. Help me to find what I need to find. Help me to, for Steve to find his glasses. And I prayed that through the whole movie. I really wasn't paying attention to Batman, as you could tell. So as I was praying that, um, at the end, Steve says, I got to go back out there and look. I said, okay, go to the office, right? Go to the office. So he went to the office. And he said, "Did anybody turn in a pair of Oakleys? I left them on accidentally in getting my, butter on my popcorn and stuff." And the guy said, "Somebody just returned these." And he goes, "Are these your Oakley?" He goes, "Oh, it's my husband." Goes, "Yeah, fuck yeah, thank you, man." You know, and those were his Oakleys. Um, and I said to him, I said, "This is what I was doing through the whole movie." And he's like, "Oh." I said, "Yeah." Um, it's amazing. I said, "Okay," as we were leaving, I said, "You know what we have to do?" And my husband goes, I said, "You gotta say thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All of you guys, like I would say, you guys gotta say thank you. Thank you, angels. Thank you, Archangel Shamuel, for helping me and guiding me. If you are wanting something, needing something, you're coming into that divineness, you're coming into that alignment, and you gotta allow for that alignment to come in. The thing is that we are going through, and I'm going to stress it again, some really crazy radical times. It's going to get disruptive. There's going to be floods, there's going to be earthquakes, and there's going to be volcanoes erupting. Trump is not the savior. He is not who, I don't know who it was. Some of these channelers out there are just bogus crap, and who channel this stuff and saying, "Oh, he's a Palladian, he's this, he's that." Nah, no. Um, even with Abraham, when I was listening to Abraham Hicks one day, and it was over the lockdown and stuff, and she, as she was channeling it, mentioned about the elixir and saying, "Don't worry about it." And I was just like, "Well, I'm out." That was the last time I ever listened to anything that Abraham Hicks said, because I'm just like, "Oh my god!" Like everything that I received from the astrology guidance and everything was always trust. We're going to lead you through this. This is going to be transformational. This is going to be crazy, but you got to trust in this. You got to walk this walk. You can't falter towards this evil. That's what I kept getting. And then, of course, with the astrology, it was showing me that there's some crazy scientific experiment, because it was all going into Aquarius, and with the Pluto Saturn coming together, it's just like, oh, so we have Saturn coming together with Neptune. Okay, what's that? Weather, oil, gas, disruption, Earth, Uranus going into Gemini, erraticness, new ways of thinking, new thoughts. I'm watching on BritBox about this family, about these sisters, but how they really got into fascism and socialism. The new thoughts of the day. That's what's new. Those were the new thoughts of the day, and really falling for them, and really embracing all of that evil. And I'm just like, wow. It was just amazing. Like they were searching for something, and then the youngest one, I think it was the youngest one, or one of the, was infatuated with the guy with the mustache, and how she begged her parents, and this was in the 30s, to go to a finishing school in Germany, and and her whole reason for doing that was because she wanted to join that group. She wanted to be a part of it, and she did. She did. Um, Later on, it was that when Germany invaded England, I mean, she just kind of freaked out and she tried to kill herself, and they brought her home, and it was just that erraticness, and that's what you're going to find with Uranus in coming into Gemini. People are going to be erratic. People are going to go into crazy new thought patterns, new ways, and you got to have the discernment, and you got to have that trust in saying, okay, there is a better way, right? It's going to take us a while to get through this, but we're going to be able to do this. And that's the whole, that's part of the frequency, the whole thing. So you're not going to see a lot about this wokeness and, I want to be this and I'm going to be this and I'm going to be a tree. No, you're going to find, and especially where Jupiter is within Cancer and stuff. This is where Jupiter rules Sagittarius. Sagittarius is all about migration and immigration. You're going to find the radicalness when it comes to more people protesting about immigration and migration. You're going to find that people are just it's going to get crazier. And this is going to be even deeper and stronger than it was before, even with the stronger than the BLM, stronger than the woke or the Palestine thing or anything. So we're going to see a really crazy erraticness that's going to come in. That's where you're going to find the fights on the street, because this is where people are going to see where it has hurt my family, where it has hurt my children. And what does that mean? When you start going in and you start hurting the family and the children and the women, that's when the crazy erraticness comes in more. And that's where you're going to have. Oh, thank you. A little door open. It's my husband. So, this is where the energies are right now. And this is where, in order for you to find that joy, for you to find that peace, you have to step in to the divine. And he's going to lead you through it all. And you're going to be okay. You're going to be fine. So, on that note, if you want my soul package has the fall and winter series. The fall series starts in September. It's September, October, November. And then the December one, the winter one is December, January, and February. 2 series, booklets each month, workbooks each month. Each one was $150 each. A one-on-one with the divine feminine reading, with the solar arc reading. You'll receive that, so you can book it in anytime once you do your payment. Have the full payment. Has to have the full payment, and then you can book in your reading. And then the Crone Wisdom, which is an 8-week program. You want to do that? It's $500. This is all over $1,000. And if you are wanting, because the feminine arc reading, if you want to just book that on its own, it's $300 now. If you want to step into this energy and you want to work more into this energy and following the divine and following and allowing yourself to become stronger, more willful, and know that you are a chosen one of God. Okay? You are that one that lives within you. Definitely let me know. It's $500. There are payment plans. All right? You just have to let me know. Okay? On that note, I have to go because Steve made fry bake, which is like bannock, I guess, for some of you, but we call it fry bake with tomatoes, roasted tomatoes, and chicken. So I'm gonna go eat. So have a blessed one, everybody. Definitely let me know if you want to have the soul package and join me on this journey. God bless and the goddess bless. We're gonna be fine, but you have to be aware of the shit that's coming down the chute. Bye bye.